Hello, everybody. What's up? It is the one and only African superstar back at it again. Yes, you know where I'm at. I'm in my car. So, this is another live stream straight from Ohio, my hometown, Columbus, Ohio. Big shout outs to all my Ohio viewers, all my Ghanaian friends and family, all my Bearcats, all my Fort Hayes graduates, everybody who knows me from the CO. If you're a close friend, don't hesitate to get in touch while I'm in town. Perhaps we can link up. Shameless plug. Want to remind you guys that I have a brand new song out called Sunday Born. It's the first single of my upcoming EP, Iconic. If you're interested in the music, you can head over to bandcamp.com. That's where I release all of my music, and it's a great way to support me as an independent artist by purchasing those songs at Bandcamp. Also, in other news, we have an upcoming tour in Ghana, October 2024. So you'll want to head over to tayeahuru.com to book and secure your spot. 7-day tour, October 21st through the 27th. So you won't want to miss it if you missed our former tour in March. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. When you come in the room, please make sure you like the stream and greet me, be a part of our conversation today. And if you're not subscribed, do subscribe. Would love to have you here. If you like this kind of content, you like me, you want to support all of those things. And don't forget, the channel is remonetized, so you can support us on a more tangible way via Super Chat. Also, information streaming across the screen, PayPal, Zelle, whatnot. All right, guys. Today's topic is you had better be playing for keeps. You had better be playing for keeps. I've been having a series of conversations, since I've been here in Ohio, and some crazy stories I've heard, some absolutely ridiculous, devastating stories I've heard. And one thing that reigns true is you must always be your biggest advocate in this life. You cannot be apologetic about you doing the necessary things that you need to do to try to provide yourself a good quality life, take care of yourself, take care of your mental well-being, your health, your aspirations. It's very, very important that you prioritize those things. Excuse me. The world around you is going to try to distract you and preoccupy you with erroneous things. Like I talked about on my previous live stream, it's going to also try to siphon and harness your energy for things that you are kind of powerless to change, when the things that you actually need to focus upon, that you actually have the ability to impact, you're not even addressing those things. I'll give the example. I've given it in the past. But let's just say in my house, you're always at my house. You're always like admiring my lawn and admiring my decor. You spend all your time in my house. Maybe you even contribute in my house. Maybe you even do some of the lawn work. You paint the house. You are contributing to the upkeep of where I live. Now, you live next door. Your house is dilapidated. Your house is falling apart. You're behind in property taxes. You don't cut the grass. Of course, my house is going to look better than your house. You know what I mean? Of course, my house is going to run smoother. Of course, it's going to provide a kind of environment that you want to be in and others. You have got to put yourself high on the totem pole, and your aspirations have to be high on the totem pole. And you need to be focused on the efforts that you can make towards those goals. I see a lot of people hoping and wishing, spending a lot of energy in religion, spending a lot of attention to politics and all this stuff, when actually they are negating their own individual power towards these things of importance in their life. And so that's why I'm talking about this today. You had better be playing for keeps. You've got to think about your personal interest in every situation. And I know that this is something that we are not promoted to do, because we are promoted to basically you know, have other people's best interests in mind before our own. We even see it at a national level here in America, where the American government is so, involved and invested in foreign affairs and what's happening with refugees and all these various conflicts and all this stuff than they are with the Americans in their own backyard. You know, since I've been here, I've seen crazy things that I've never seen my entire life growing up in Ohio. I've seen drug addicts, all over the place. I've seen homeless people. The amount of homeless people is very noticeable. There's beggars on every corner. I've seen the lack, for instance, of public toilets, because people are using the toilets for drug paraphernalia. So I've been going, when I drive around, I don't know what it is. When I drive around, I have to use the toilet so much more frequently than when I'm not driving. So I'll stop at gas stations or I'll stop at restaurants and try to use the toilet. And then they're telling me there's no public toilets. The toilets are out of order and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, in one case, I was on the west side of Columbus, where apparently this drug epidemic is really, really, really prevalent. And I literally went to probably 4 businesses and none of them had a public toilet. It got to the point I just went behind the building because I had to pee and I couldn't find anywhere to go. So the bottom line is, I know I went on a tangent, but the bottom line is that all of your energy, guys, should be going towards your aspirations, goals, and plans. If you say you want to move to Africa, if you say you want to save money, if you say you want to lose weight, if you say you want to start the business, big shout outs to Golden Gold, the first one in our chat room today. Big shout outs to you. The rest of you guys, hello. Are you on code? What's up? If you're happy to see me, let me know. Let me know. Hello. If those things are really goals of yours, then all of your energy should be going on them. That's the only way to preface that. That's where your interest really lies. If not, I hate to tell you, I hate to be the one to tell you, but you're lying. You're lying to yourself and others. Okay? When you say, I want to do this, I want to do that. Big shout outs to Kimla. I heard from Kimla earlier today, and she was telling me about some of the exciting things she's been working on in Nigeria. And, for several years, she's been talking to me about moving out of the U.S. and relocating and all of that. She has in the process been visiting, she's been frequenting Nigeria. I believe she came to Ghana, or she had plans to come to Ghana. I can't remember. I didn't see her. But the bottom line is, when there's something that you really want, it's going to be evident by the things that you do, guys. I know it's a foreign concept to kind of align people's words with actions, but that's the best way to know. That's the best way to know in anything, really. Because there's this old saying called talk is cheap. Have you guys ever heard of that? If you've heard talk is cheap, let me see a number one. I'm trying to warm you guys up. It's 11:30, so those of you in America, you guys should be awake by now. Yes. And I know it's after 3 in Ghana. So big shout outs to the African superstar family. There's an old saying called talk is cheap, and it's very true. I can attest to this in my 40 plus years. Talk is cheap. Talk doesn't mean anything. Okay, talk doesn't mean anything. I literally know at this stage of the game, hundreds of people that have told me they're tired of situations in the West. They're tired of racism. They're tired of the matrix. They're tired of the slave labor culture. They're tired of bills. They're tired of the cold weather. You guys have left comments. You guys have even sent me emails. I've even done consultations with people of how tired they are of their situation in the West. Hello. We've all got friends that are tired of their spouse, tired of this, tired of that. Unbelievable. Every time I get on live, every time. Now there's a dump truck around, boy, I tell you. Big shout outs, guys. What's up? Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. Talk is cheap. All right. Talk is very cheap. The only way to know that somebody's sincere about the things that they talk about is because their actions and their words are going to align. Let's keep doing this. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties in the car. I'm trying to get this AC popping because there's a dump truck. I don't know if y'all can see it. Where is it? There's the dump truck, and he's making a lot of noise. So I have to put the AC on in my car. All right, there we go. We got it popping finally at long last. Okay. Yes. So that's why you guys pay attention to me, I think. That's why you guys listen to me, because the things I say I'm going to do, I do it. You know, and I believe firmly in that. And I believe that's actually how I judge and assess other people, is by the actions they take, not by what they say, because it's easy to say this and it's easy to say that. All right. But you guys, my generation and everybody else, you really ought to be playing for keeps. You really ought to be looking at your life, determining where you stand, where you want to be, and how to achieve that. We are having less lifetime every single day. As days go by, we're getting closer to the end. I mean, I hate to be morbid, but it is what it is. We're getting closer to the end every day, guys. Eventually, we will have an end. All right? We see it every single day. We've got friends and family that have passed away or died under crazy circumstances, been murdered, died in car accidents. You know, it's a reality. We have no idea when our expiration date is coming. Every day is critical. What the hell? Ugh, this dump truck. Look, he's behind me now. It's critical that we don't waste the time. You know, we don't waste the time. Those of us that have had time wasted in our lives because of miseducation and misdirection, you know, we were making decisions about our future and our life based off of the limited, skewed information that we had. And so therefore, we were making big decisions without the full amount of information. I think a lot of us, especially those of us that have started traveling internationally, moving abroad, all these kind of things, perhaps, excuse me, perhaps if we knew about those options sooner, we may have been interested and inquired sooner than we are today. But because we didn't have the full information, we was working with the little piece of the pie we had. The reality is, guys, this is again, another cold hard truth to tell you. Some of us are pedaling backwards. Some of us are behind because the years that we should have been investing, building our business, you know, acquiring land and property, traveling, whatever we're currently doing here in this 2024, we've missed significant time, valuable time that we could have been investing in that venue, you know, in that goal. So that means that we have got to really, really, really be focused with intent, productive, you know, and successful. Now, you had better be playing for keeps, guys. You had better be playing for keeps. You got to sit down and ask yourself the question. You've got to sit down and ask yourself the question, what do I have? Where do I stand? What is the future? You know, and be taking tangible steps. You can't just put it off. You got to focus on it now. So I've been in this thought pattern since I got here, just trying to figure out the way forward. It's something that I think most leaders, um, spend a lot of time on trying to figure out the way forward. How can I be the most effective that I can be? And so on and so forth. It takes a lot of thought, but above thought, it takes action. And unfortunately, I'm here and I'm seeing a lot of my friends. The situations that they're in is daunting to me, and I look at it and I think to myself, how are you going to turn this thing around? Because you haven't even started the process. A lot of them don't realize that the system is a system. The system is designed for the house to win. It's not designed for you. You got to break out of the system in some shape or form. You've got to change course some way, shape, or form to beat the system. I mean, I'm just being honest, because this blueprint that they gave us is for their benefit, not for our benefit. If you're someone who wants your freedom, you're someone who wants a little bit more of your time, you're someone who wants enjoyment in your life, then you're going to have to change course to obtain it, because again, the blueprint that we're operating with is not designed for any of that. And so I hope that this message is well received. You guys are very quiet in the chat room. I only see two viewers there, actually, in the chat room. I just wanted to come and petition you to be playing for keeps. Okay, whatever that means. Because you have got to be the person most invested in making your dreams a reality. Everybody else is hustling for that Getty Green. I'm sorry, I've been on that Project Pat since I've been in the States. Everybody's hustling for that loot, for that Fetty, for that moolah, for that CD, for the green. Everybody's hustling for that. Most, like 9 out of 10 people, that's all they're all focused upon. They don't really have the time or energy to invest in your life goals and all of that. If you aren't riding for your own things to achieve them, it's very safe to say that you likely wouldn't achieve them. I mean, people say, no, Gina, don't ever say never. Anything can happen. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's true that anything can happen. But the likelihood of it happening when you are not actively pursuing the goals is very, very, very slim. Shout out to Ron. He's on a grind, he's hustling for that Getty Green. Like I said, and I do realize that some of us know we're in the matrix and it's not a quick exit, because you got to be strategic. You got to do our mission statement, strategy, maturity, and patience. You got to have some kind of strategy to get out. Otherwise, if you just say, I'm quitting my job today, and I'm quitting my job, I'm buying a one-way ticket to Ghana, come what may. Unless you have significant savings and like a blueprint game plan, that ain't going to work for you either. You've got to use your resources, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. But it still boils down to you taking tangible action. Okay. Also, if you, like me, feel like a complete novice to certain topics like financial literacy, okay, you feel like you don't know how to get money apart from working, okay, you can educate yourself and teach yourself those things. Because quite frankly, the things you really, really need to know about money management and wealth, growth and all that stuff, you're never going to learn that through your formal education. You're going to have to look into that independently, because that's stuff they don't want the masses knowing. Okay, that's why. All they're going to teach the masses is how to go to school, get a job. And that's for their benefit, not yours. Do you really think at the end of the day, working a job for 30 years, which includes your prime, okay, for somebody else's sustenance and generational wealth, do you really, at the end of the day, guys, think that that's in your best interest? Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real about the fact that that blueprint, which is what has been provided to 99% of Americans and British and Europeans and the Western world, let's be real. That has nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with you as an individual. And that money that you earn is hand to mouth. Right now, guys, if you go back and get your tax statements for like the past 10, 20 years, all right, you've probably made 6 figures or more, maybe $1 million for some of you, well-paid corporate thugs, gurus, whatever, directors, blah, blah, blah. Some of you have made $1 million already in those 2 decades. Let's just say 20 years, the past 20 years. You get them tax statements, you see all that money that you have generated. Okay, the money you've generated, that was your take home, and the money that you generated for Social Security, NHS, retirement, pension, whatever. Okay, that money that you received, the bulk of it went right back into your mouth. Housing, transportation, taxes, food, petrol, general upkeep. That's not even money that you could have invested in the business, in the future, in investments or whatever, savings, because it was hand to mouth. What I'm saying with all this, don't get it confused, is that this system that they got over here in the West, okay, this is for their benefit, not yours. And if you're not playing for keeps, you're going to find yourself on the opposite side of the railroad one day. We may be young now. All right? We may be young now. Some of us are kind of borderline no longer young. But the day is going to come when we are no longer the young people. The day is going to come when we become, the seniors, the elders, the old people, basically. The day is going to come. When that day comes for us, if you have not been playing for keeps, you're going to find out real fast. You're going to find out real fast that, damn, some of you guys have loyalty to your jobs and stuff like that. They can replace you in a minute, and they will. I just talked to this man at the doctor's office the other day he's 60 years old. He said he was an executive for JP Morgan, which is the bank I used to work for. And he said that all of a sudden they phased out his position when he turned 60 years old. He had plans to retire when he was 67. He was making great money. And they just told him, the position is no more. Didn't offer him a lateral position, didn't offer him any other thing. And he said, and I said, that's crazy. They can just push him out. And they said, yeah. And the way they did it was I couldn't fight them because in Ohio, it's an at-will state, which means an employer has the right to terminate your employment at will. They don't even need grounds. Okay. And so this man said, now I'm in a position where I wasn't quite ready to retire, but I'm too old to kind of start a brand new career. Other employers are not going to, pay me what I was earning at Chase because I basically worked my way up and I, eventually got higher salaries as I got different positions and all that stuff. He said, so, I'm in a rock and a hard place because I wasn't ready to retire, but they made me retire. And then now I can't just go get other jobs. And I'm like, you see, this is what I'm saying. If you're not playing for keeps, guys, if you're not in the mindset where you realize that basically these things are temporary. If you get a good opportunity, for instance, you better maximize it. Excuse me. You better maximize it because it's not promised. It's not promised that it'll be there tomorrow. It's not promised that it'll be there next week. It might just be that window of time. Okay. Every opportunity is a once in a lifetime opportunity. What's up, family? We got 16 of you guys and we have 2 in the chat room. Let me just do a little housekeeping. If you don't remember how my live streams work, we have a code. All right. The family has a code. You come in, you like the stream, you greet in the chat, you support the stream, You can share the video and you're a part of the conversation. Okay? Because I know the things I'm talking about. And I am actually implementing the things I talk about. It's obvious that I know what I'm talking about and I do those things. All right? This is for you. This is motivation for you out there that might just need a friendly reminder to step it up. Okay, a lot of you guys are over here chilling in America, chilling in Canada, chilling in England. You think it's all good. You think, oh, we can never experience this. We can never experience that. That's never happened in America. That can never happen in America. Listen, you better be playing for keeps. You better be thinking ahead. You better be paying attention to what's going on around you. Because I'm telling you, you don't want to be a casualty of this stuff. You don't want to be that person that's like, damn, I knew it. I should have done this. I should have done that. Why didn't I listen? Why didn't I think ahead? You don't want to be that person. You want to be the person that's like, thank God I did this. I'm glad I was thinking ahead. My plan works. I'm grateful. That's the position you want to be in. The only way you're going to have that position if you play for keeps, if you're thinking ahead, if you're planning ahead. The way I look at it, to be honest, every day I get up, for some of you guys that lack motivation, those of you guys that are procrastinators and all that stuff, I literally look at it every day as in I have no support. I have no support. I have nothing. If I don't figure out how to get out here and make something happen, then I'm going to be ass out. Excuse my language. But that's how I look at it. And so when I wake up on days and there's things I have to do and maybe I'm tired, or when I think about going to the gym and I don't want to go, or this and that and the other, that's where my mind is. And that's why I'm a high performing individual, okay? Because I take it all on. I take it all on a daily basis, that if I don't contribute to this cause, you know what I mean? If I want fitness, but I don't go to the gym, it's safe to say I'm not going to have no fitness results, right? Hello? If I need money, but I don't do anything that's going to generate money or put any action towards it. Thank you so much, Mimi. Thank you so much, Mimi, for that tangible support. Big shout outs to Mimi with the first super chat of this message. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. She said, thank you. And then she sent something tangible. So I know that Mimi appreciates this message and she appreciates my content. Big shout outs to you, baby. I see you and I appreciate you. I know you're there. That's how we become productive, is we look at it like there's no, and excuse me, some of you guys might get emotional or get, whatever. You got to look at it like nobody is there for you. There's no government. There's no God. There's no family. There's no food. There's nothing to fall back on. I guarantee you, if in the mornings you got up and remind yourself, I have nothing. I have nothing at all. And the things that I'm utilizing currently is all I have, and I need to maximize that thing. I'm guaranteeing you will be much more productive. Okay? If you look at it like, if I don't get in this gym, okay, my health is going to suffer. I'm going to get really fat. Sometimes I see those really, I'm here in America. Sometimes I see those really obese people. We don't have those kind of people in the UK. We don't have them in Ghana. So it is actually kind of like a little shocking to me when I see people that are so obese they can barely walk. When I see that, I remind myself, yeah, you need to do your 10,000 steps today. You need to be in that gym. Okay, you need to give it some energy. You need to give it some vim, as we say in Ghana, because that is where you're going if you don't take action. When I hear these sob stories about people's circumstances over here in America, when I see people feeling like they're helpless, they're in situations, I'm reminded that, yeah, Gina, this is why you're out here trying to make something happen, because this is the alternative. You better be hustling for keeps. You better be utilizing what you can. You know, big shout outs to the diasporians using their resources, whatever that means, to set themselves up in Africa. Big shout outs to you, because you better be playing for keeps. If you have a future in Africa, you want a future in Africa, but your actions are not aligning, nobody can look at you and see that you have any level of interest beyond your memes that you post, you know, your YouTube subscriptions. Hello, your dashiki that you're rocking. That's where it stops. That's where it stops. You are American, you're British, you're a Canadian passport holder, but you talking about you have interest in Africa and you can't, you haven't been able to align your words with your desires. I mean, honestly, guys, one would question how serious it is for you. You know, you are having an exposure that, like, 10, 15 years ago, you wouldn't even have that. You're seeing the experiences of other diasporans going to Africa. I mean, I think probably now, although it's probably more expensive to go to Africa than ever before because of the fact that we are venturing over there, it's now easier than ever because you can find a lot of resources on how to get your visa. You know, you can get a lot of resources on what to do, what Africa actually looks like, how people are living. There's a lot of resources now, modern day, that wasn't even available 10 years ago to help you plan your trip to Africa. I know Africa's not for everybody. Okay, big shout out to Abini. I see you there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon, wherever you are. Family, 17 of you and just a handful in the chat room. Be on code. Please do be on code. Because this message is for you, you, and you. It's not for me. It's for you. Let's make no mistake about that. Big shout outs to the family. Yes, I've been coming live a lot more often lately, a couple times a week. When I get back to Ghana, probably more because I'll have much more free time. Yes, I have much more free time. So at the end of the day, the moral of this story is you better be playing for keeps, guys. All right. I should be able to look at your life and know where your interest lies. Know where and what is important to you. And I want to also state for the record, it's not about anybody else. Okay? It's not about anybody else. Your aspirations is about you. Even if you get negative feedback from other people regarding whatever it is that you are interested in, it's not about none of them. It's not about any of them. I'm telling you. You know, I ran into this girl here in Ohio because, you know, one thing that you're going to encounter once you level up. Hello, if anybody can relate to the statements that I'm saying, you can just put a number 2 in the chat. When you level up, there's going to be people that were never in the position that you were in, not on your level today or yesterday, could never even do what you did. They're going to come and tell you, well, I would never do that. Well, I could never move to Africa. Well, I could do this. And I thought to myself, I know you couldn't ever do it. You're trying to make it like you don't want to do it, but it's not that you don't want to do it. It's that you can't do it. So I ran into this girl and, you know, typical Ghanaian immigrant here. And she was one of those people that was kind of, she's always sneak dissing me, right? I know I'm that, you know, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. So I understand the sneak diss. Hello. So she was always sneak dissing me in the past. Well, I ran into her And big shout out, Jennifer. I see you in the building. Look at the family is in the building. Much love to African Superstar family. I love you guys. Jennifer says she's building in Pram. Big shout out as well. One could look at Jennifer and say, you know what? Jennifer is really serious about this Ghana thing. She's really serious. She's taking the initiative to visit Ghana, first of all, purchase land, start a project, and all the things that go with that. One would really be able to look at her and say, you know what? She's very serious about this Africa thing. Anyway, back to Madam Sneak This. So, when I first was expressing interest into Ghana many years ago, this person was kind of, she was kind of snide. What do you know about Ghana? This and that and the other, blah, blah, blah. Well, now I've shown her. I've shown her what I know about Ghana, and I'm showing her every moment of the day. So she had the audacity to come up to me and tell me that, oh, I just don't know I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you live in Ghana. I could never see myself living there. Now, mind you, this is a Ghanaian, born and raised in Ghana. Okay. And I said, I know. It takes a certain type of tenacity. It takes a certain type of individual to be able to do what I've done. And I know that you don't got what it takes. That's what I was thinking. I know that you're not built like that. But this goes back to my former point of it's not about anybody else. Okay. I know wholeheartedly that for me, being in Ghana is good for me. The proof, the fruit of that decision is there. It's not up for debate with other people, whatever. And for them, other options may be optimal. I honestly, when you discourage a person from what's working for them, that to me lets me know that you're not really happy with your own personal decision. Okay? Because me being in Ghana, I don't have anything to say about anybody else being wherever they need to be. My message has always been to people that potentially might be interested in an unconventional path and maybe what the continent has to offer them. But if you're happy and you're balling and you're living your best life wherever you are, then big kudos to you. This is only for people that are still searching, still yearning, have achieved their earmarks, and still things are not working out. That's who I speak to. There's no need for you to come and tell me your mind about how you don't like what I've done or how you don't agree or how it doesn't suit you. I don't care. Because if you're a slave, then yeah, your lifestyle and our lifestyles are not the same. You see, I'm an international award-winning musician. Okay, I'm a mini celebrity, and above all that, I'm a lady who needs leisure, rest, and relaxation. I'm not with the slave life. I never have been, and I never will be. So I understand why we don't have the same desires. You're okay with that lifestyle. I'm not okay with that lifestyle. You don't mind. I mind. So you have to have the courage, guys. Big shout outs to you guys up in the building. Much love to the family. Make sure you like the stream. If you like this content, if this content is good to you, let me hear it in the chat room, or you can support the stream. Okay. You've got to have the courage to make the decisions about what's best for you. Okay. And you have to be able to stand on those decisions. You see, when I moved out of the US, a lot of people didn't agree. All right. Even some of my family members don't understand. I knew that it was the best decision for me to get out of this crazy toxic environment. Okay. I knew that. I knew that if I remain here, the outcome of my life is going to be less than stellar because of a lot of external factors. First and foremost, I need to be unapologetically Gina at all times. Okay. I don't want to do the code switching. I don't want to compress myself into a little box. I want to be free. Number one. Number two, I don't like disrespect. Number three, the radical racism and the random nature of the violence. I don't want to become a hashtag. I don't want to be a casualty. So, in my opinion, the best way to avoid a lot of these outcomes is to change my environment to a place in which these factors are not as abundant, as here. All right. I knew that decision. A lot of other people didn't understand that decision or didn't agree with that decision. I didn't care. Okay. I made that decision independently and I stood on it. Now, after years of being abroad, other people are able to finally understand a bit more. And because I've had a level of success in my migration, now their tone is changing. But I say all this to say, guys, that it starts with you, it ends with you, it's all about you. Okay, you got to make the important core decisions regarding your life. You've got to stand on that. And whatever comes from that comes from that. But that's the core of it. So I want to advise you guys today, my channel, my viewers, those of you guys that love me and all that stuff. I really, really want to promote you to be playing for keeps. Okay, I really, really want you to take some time. I'm always advising you guys to do this. Take some time, look over your matters. One of the questions, I was watching this financial video the other day because I'm trying to teach myself a bit more about assets and liabilities, stocks, and all of that stuff. I'm trying to teach myself. There's a lot of resources here on YouTube. There's a lot of resources online. And one of the advisors said, the first step is looking at your situation, okay? And asking yourself, where do I stand? What do I own? What assets do I have? What liabilities do I have? What do I expect from my future? And the cognitive planning that's going to get you to that. And the reality is, this advisor was saying, when I first asked myself the question, that's what he said. When I first asked myself the question, I didn't have any assets. I didn't own anything. I didn't have any stocks. I didn't have any bonds. I didn't have any property. I didn't have any businesses. All I had was liabilities. And if a lot of us are honest, if you ask yourself that question, that's what you have. Okay. You might be in a mortgage and you think, oh, I own my home. You don't own your home. It's actually a liability currently because you have to pay for that thing. That thing's not generating you money. For those of you that don't know the difference between assets and liabilities, assets are things that can generate you wealth and money. Liabilities are things that you have to pay for, you have to maintain. Okay. And so once you ask yourself the question, and going back to my previous, charge of when you wake up in the morning and you remember, I don't have any assets. I don't own anything. If I were to lose my job today, I would be completely stranded because I don't have any alternative streams of income. I don't have any savings. Okay. I'm telling you, if you have any sense, that's going to make you hustle really hard. That's going to make you get up and get out and do what you got to do because you really, really realize, man, I don't have the time to play. I don't have it like that. I don't have it like that. Now, I'm pretty sure these folks with lots of lots of assets, lots of property, businesses that are generating money, if they wake up one day and they're like, I'm taking today off. I'm really exhausted. I need to get away. I'm going to fly to Turks and Caicos for, a week. I need, I want to get a new car. I haven't treated myself lately because of the situation they're in, because of their assets, because they are having, passive money that's rolling in without them constantly having to facilitate it. They can do that. But a lot of us with nothing but liabilities, we don't have that leisure. And so we've got to be real about it. And if we're real about it, then we got to be playing for keeps. We can change that situation. We can change the reality that we live in. I once lived here in America. I once punched a clock. I once was a 9-to-5 girl. I once, was in the situation with a lot of you. Through diligence and innovation, I changed that. Through determination, through exploration. I changed that. Against all odds, I changed it. But it takes, the first step. It takes self-realization as well. You don't have to be embarrassed about your circumstances because you're not alone. You are not alone when you look at your life and you're like, man, this is crazy. A lot of us are the product of our environments. We have grown up to be exactly what we were groomed to be. And so for that, you can't, beat yourself up because, you were lied to, you were pushed in a certain direction, you were made to believe things and made to pursue things. But once you determine that this is not what I really want, this is not the lifestyle that I want, this is not the future that I want, you do have the burden of proof of changing that thing around. But you can. You can. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. I love you guys. Special shout outs to those handful of you. Handful, because we've had over 20 here so far, but we don't have 20 comments. Hello. Big shout outs to those of you in the chat room that were a part of this conversation. I know some of you guys are at work. It's the midday here in Ohio. So big shout outs to those of you guys that at least got in, greeted me, left me something. Special shout outs to Miss Mimi Roberts on the super chat. I love you guys. Make sure you like the stream. Also, again, in current events, my latest release is called Sunday Born. So for all the African Superstar music lovers, you can locate the song on all the streaming platforms. You can also purchase it directly at bandcamp.com. You'll also want to get on the friends list on bandcamp.com so you'll be notified about any release, because I have music on there that's not currently out on the streaming platforms. So if you want access to all my current music, you will need to get it at bandcamp.com. Also, guys, hello. Shout outs to those of you guys that are still wanting to come to Ghana. Come to Ghana and see me. Hello. Come on my own celebrity collaboration tour with Mr. Taye Uhuru. Our next tour is in October 21st through the 27th. 7 days, 3 cities, all inclusive. You don't want to miss it. Really good price, $4,000 for everything. So you will want to go to tayeahuru.com to get the booking and the full itinerary. It's available at tayeahuru.com. Shout out to Superstar Bella. Yes, I know you haven't seen me because I haven't been here. I haven't been on YouTube, but I'm back. I'm back like I never left. So it's good to see you too.